What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys had a good 3-day weekend as well. And I hope that you guys took a little bit of time, at least during the busy barbecues and grilling and family and shopping and some kind of savings, which I looked at the deals. I didn't see anything too crazy myself. Just to remember the men and women who served this country and give us the freedom to be here, sit here every single day, be able to hit some buttons, make some R's in the market. But I hope you guys are doing absolutely incredible. Man, I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling good. I hope you guys are doing the same. We got the SPY in an interesting position. Let me throw it on. We'll throw it on. Yeah, we'll go with this. We'll zoom to the hourly. So we are gapping a little bit. And Justin Williams in Slack, he posted, I think, a very, very valuable question. So for anybody that is still just getting familiar with gaps or just trying to understand kind of the market sentiment. So this is a gap and go because this is gapping higher than we close, right? So this is technically a gap and go. Because we're not gapping outside of yesterday's range, yesterday's candle, we're just sitting, not only are we sitting inside the candle, we're actually sitting at the very kind of low end of the candle. The strength of the gap is weakened a lot, right? So we don't have a big gap to contend with as far as momentum. Not that many people getting trapped. We do potentially have some. This is an hourly chart on the SPY. We do have a little bit of a double bottom, and we're gapping above the VPOC from yesterday. So the highest range of yesterday, we are gapping above it. I think this gap, at least in a worst case, comes down, looks for a fade. And we look to potentially rally from here, or don't really do too much. I don't know. I don't know that today there is something. There's I think we have manufacturing numbers coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern. So beware of that. Maybe that's enough to move the markets. And maybe the first 30 minutes is a little bit of a dud, but just keep in mind. So if you guys are mid trade and then market starts screaming one way or the other, just know, check that time, check the clock, make sure that 10 a.m. I do expect to see some kind of movement, but we will see. We'll see. So we got you guys piling in. We got Flo in the house. Good morning. We got Chris. We got Jay, Brian, Bill, Tony, Matt. We got Kyle in the morning. Albert, good morning. Tanya's here. Stephen King is in the house. We got Mario. We got Fayaz in the house. I always say that wrong. I know I'm saying it wrong. One day. It's a 3-day weekend. 3-day weekend. It hurts my brain, so I gotta, recharge. We got Rock in the house. Good morning. We got Patrick. Yo, Varus is here. We got YouTube. We got Insights Jose. We got Dale Ryan in the house. You guys coming back from the break all strong. Hope you guys got to stretch out, loosen up that neck a little bit. So you got to do a little piano crack on the fingers before the pianist starts getting ready to play. We got to hit some buttons today. Got to make sure we're loosened up. So we will see. Very similar to the SPY. So again, it is a technical gap and go. The strength of it, not huge. We also, just like we saw on the SPY too, we're sitting below. I think the SPY is actually right at the 10 EMA on an hourly chart. SPY Qs have a little bit of room to go. So we'll see. Again, I'm not expecting, honestly, I'm not expecting too much craziness out of the gate. I do expect kind of a little bit of a chop out of the gate today. And then we'll see after the 10 a.m. mark, probably we get some more coherent moves, just a little bit, maybe stronger, bullish, bearish, but we're at key levels in the SPY, key levels in the Qs. Let me flip this to a daily real quick. Yep, so the daily, right now we're just contending with our last bull day, right? So could this all be a retest and we end up plummeting? Very, very factual, could happen. Definitely could, but you have good support here, good support here. Well, actually, I should have said resistance there. That became support. Well, if you're going to go long, you should know where your stops are. You should know where the stops are. Anything really I would say anything really under this 293.36 looks very, very bearish at that point. I could probably even make a case a little bit higher than that because now we're also breaking through two VPOC. So 294.42 tells me look out. We are still climbing down, but this is going to be a very interesting spot to hold if you are bullish. Richard Jets piling in. Good morning. Let's take a look at some of the stocks. So Apple, new iPhone 14. They're up to 14 already. I mean, another 6 more, and we can't count how many iPhones on our toes and fingers anymore. So we're getting up there on 14. You think eventually they might change the name, because I think once you hit like iPhone 100, the brand becomes a little bit stale. You're like, really? I'm going to get the 100th phone? But they do have iPhone 14 coming out or being revealed on Wednesday. So Apple for today and tomorrow should be interesting. Anytime we've seen Apple prior to these meetings, you've seen, or conferences, what do they call them? You typically see some kind of run up into the meeting. And then after the news is released, you tend to sell off a little bit. This was also the entire market, but we also saw the entire, we did see Apple a lot stronger than a lot of other stocks, but we've been selling recently, obviously, with the rest of the market too. So would be interesting to see what happens here. Again, kind of a tight zone that we're in now on Apple. I don't think I'm probably, unless I see a perfect trade that is amazing risk to reward. At this point at open, I'm thinking we probably go short. That's only going to give us less. That's going to give us about 80 cents of risk to reward down to that next VPOC. I don't know what happens at that VPOC if we end up crushing right through it. But again, tight range at open on Apple. And Apple will be definitely heavily watched today and tomorrow by a lot of traders, a lot of investors. So we might see some potential wild moves out of it. We got NVIDIA. This dotted line on my screen, this is on a longer time frame. This is a high volume area. We did get a perfect bounce right off of it. I don't think we're gapping a little bit on. We're gapping a little bit on NVIDIA again, right in between that range. NVIDIA could be one to watch in a bullish direction. I'm so hesitant to say that, but if I was to just go pure risk to reward, right now it would be to the bullish direction. We have to get above this 137.59. So what I would like to see is we get some kind of a bounce past it, like some kind of a breakthrough. At least this is how I would intend to play it. Some kind of a bounce past it, we retest, and then we look to break out higher. Use those levels of VPOC as some kind of support. That would give me a decent bullish trade because the next range isn't up until probably 150-ish, somewhere, wherever that is. And then we have another, maybe a little bit of a potential resistance prior to it. That would put us at first target on NVIDIA would be 145.46. Again, it's been extra week. This is going to be a huge gap. Probably to even get into on the video because this is a pretty major gap down. That being said, we've also had 6 days in a row nonstop selling. We are at some kind of a key support, getting at least some kind of relief bounce. 10 EMA is all the way up at 156. That I expect that open probably to come down a little bit further, but still that takes us to about 150. Get into that range, close that VPOC, and then maybe continue down would be the play. So I don't want to go really completely bearish on NVIDIA out of the gate. Again, still just in between two VPOCs, very tight range. I have to wait to see what happens on that. We have AMD. I got some lines on there. I'm not sure if this was a trade from, I didn't trade on Friday just because I was traveling. So that's probably lines from a Thursday trade we took. Again, AMD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down days in a row. We do have a little bit of a hammer's doji, I would say, that we're just kind of trading inside. We do have a little bit of a bull trap on Friday on this one, so we did break. We never really retested that 84.69, so that would be at least considerable. And AMD is above Friday's VPOC as well. So targets, the initial targets on this one be about 81, 84. We can make something happen, maybe in a bullish direction. Again, I don't know what's going to happen at 10 a.m. when those numbers are released, but we will see. We will see. And let's just draw one quick little fib on this one. Out of curiosity, Zach is in the house. What is up, Zach? Yeah, we are already past that 618 on that move. So even on this, I mean, that's going to take us to about 84.28 is going to now be some kind of a relatively good resistance on AMD. All right. Again, not too much craziness, not a lot happening, even though it is gap and go. The weakness closing the week, and this little bit of a positive gap up, I don't think is too meaningful. CPI numbers are next Wednesday, so a week from tomorrow. We have those. Those will definitely move the market. Here's another one, inside gap. So even on a 10 EMA strategy, so far everything we've looked at inside day range. This one's kind of just testing into what attempted to be a pivot until we got a bearish engulfing candle. But otherwise, tight range again. Tesla, we might have a good bearish trade set up potentially. So if we start breaking down, I would say 270.40. The next level on that one becomes 258.41. I feel like we've tried that trade already. I feel like I'm in a time warp continuum. But yeah, if 270.40 breaks, that should be a key level somewhere in that range, maybe even a little bit higher, 270.60, something like that. If we start breaking that range, we should have good bearish downside to 258.64. So that would be my overall target, at least short-term basis for Tesla. But this one, especially with that bearish engulfing candle, again, 10 EMA rules, we might have to just kind of sit on our hands on that one. Let's take a look at some of the other ones. Where is Delta? Delta. A little bit of a stronger gap on Delta. Again, still in Friday's range, but we're above that one little green candle, at least above two different VPOCs at open. So trying to go long off this one at 31.02, stop somewhere at $30.25 might be decent. You're still in an overall bearish trend, though. We're still below that 10 EMA as well. It's going to make it a little bit tricky, a little bit trappy to trade. Take a look at Boeing. If there's any other tickers that you guys want, we covered the 6. Again, nothing too crazy. You guys could throw in some charts. We got Boeing pre-markets looking pretty much like the rest. ALB. Let's see, ALB. Decent. I would go short for me personally. It is a gap and go. Question is, how much is this going to go? So we have, what is this? This is probably Wednesday. We're going to be starting to push into Wednesday's VPOC somewhere at 270.29. And then we also have 271.33. So it is a decent gap and go. We are above Friday's range, which I like. The only problem with this one, again, we do have pretty big resistance coming in. Plus also the 10 EMA. What is up, Hector? Hector's in the house. So just be careful on this one. If we start to see some kind of a break of that hourly, or this is the daily 10 EMA, we might get some further move. Otherwise, right into this level, I don't really know exactly what's going to happen. I would expect some kind of probably profit taking out of the gate. We do have some buying into this little bit of a gap too. FDX for Justin. Okay, a little gap down action. So this is a retest gap. And an area that should kind of hold. I mean, we have a little bit of volume there, nothing too crazy. If this thing does break lower, look for targets in a bearish direction to $200.39. Maybe slightly higher, 201, somewhere in that range would be a good spot if we do sell at open. Otherwise, we do have, again, it technically is a bearish retest gap. We are holding right now some kind of interesting level. And then the next target up higher, which would probably be where our retest comes in. And I would probably prefer to short at 208.15. But you do have some room to the higher side of this trade as well. So we could see some bullish retest. This would be in a decent support spot. We do have a couple of the VPOCs in that general area. So yeah, I actually want to go more bullish than bearish on this trade out of the gate. If this thing starts dropping immediately, what I prefer is that red candle right at open. So somewhere on like maybe a 3-minute time frame, we get some kind of just panic sell. And then taking a break higher than that 3-minute candle would be the play for me to go bullish. Let some scaredy cats out of the trade, and then try to catch some kind of a break to the higher side, just at least for a retest. Shopify, SHOP. $30. $30 is our key. It's at support, major support. We've been bought up here once, twice, 3, 4, almost 5, 6. Will we do it again? Valuation of Shopify, I personally have somewhere close to $20. I don't mind picking up some shares long-term of Shopify. I don't mind the company of Shopify, but much lower, right? I want the price to be cut a lot more for this one. For me, for a long-term basis. For a trade, Zach is saying I would prefer to go short. I can see that sentiment, but it has to break. I would only short if this thing starts breaking down 30, right? We are at major support. Even look at those VPOCs for some kind of entry, because again, historically, at least last few months, $30 has been a good bounce spot for Shopify. So if it happens once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, can it happen again? It will only be support until it's not. So maybe you take a trade where it's 29.85, get right below that high wave, put your stop $30, 24, 25 cents. Let this thing break down first, because you are at an area just, I mean, traders are very pattern bound. Once they see something just continuously start hopping above that price, this could be actually a decent long spot until it breaks down. If this thing breaks down 100%, you should have pretty much nothing holding you up after this. Leonard says, are the 10 EMA stocks still AMD, Amazon, Delta, NVIDIA, Roblox, Tesla? Yes, they are. They are. Yep. Which I don't think we looked at Amazon. So good call on that. Roblox, for me, I don't really trade as much. That's why I don't really look at it. Just because when it was up in like the $100 range, $90 range, 120, it had good movement, good flows. We still could catch a good break on Roblox. So I probably shouldn't discount it, but for me, I just don't trade it as much personally. Since we're down a lot lower at this point. But those would still be the 6. Yep. Amazon inside day range as well for Amazon, and We got potential a little bit of room to a bullish side again. Do we break out the highs of yesterday? Maybe, depending on that 10 a.m. number. I mean, if the market likes that number, we start ripping bullish. Maybe we start breaking this 130.99. That would take us to 133. We'd have plenty of room to go bullish. Until that happens, the next target really for me is about 130.49. So we still have about $2 to the upside. I would love to see some kind of, again, pullback, probably realistically into like this 127.63. Getting some kind of entry 127.63 would be a home run for me as far as risk to reward is concerned. And then we do have some room to the upside. So again, I'd be watching it. Hopefully we get some kind of a drop. But then again, 10 EMA out of the gate, we are still in the range. And I don't necessarily know that I want to start going along. Actually, I'll tell you right now, I don't personally want to go along on Amazon if this 126.37 breaks, because then we're breaking down two. That would qualify us for the 10 EMA, but I'd rather go short than long at that point. Once, twice, three times the support line. CSGP. CoStar. Pretty decent gap on CoStar. This could be a decent one. I've never personally traded this one myself. We should have some decent room. This is a fairly good gap. So obviously we had some kind of strength running up, probably with the rest of the market. Probably not, because this is a daily. So yeah, probably a lot of that. I would also assume that some of this is also some kind of news that they might have had. Looks like we had earnings come out. They probably crushed earnings. Estimated 21 cents. They're looking at reported 28 cents. Revenue, they expected 532. They came in with 536. Yeah, that was probably that move. And anybody taking profits or shorting, this one does look good. So out of all of them so far, this might be my favorite gap. Probably take it about $2 higher to about 77.52 would be the next VPOC. I'm not sure how much, again, not really sure too much on the specific company, but the chart wise looks pretty good to me. They own LoopNet and others. The loop-de-loop. Yeah, that's a strong gap. We should be trapping a lot of bears on that little bit of a pullback. Again, we're gonna start getting into that one little area, but we still have $2 before we really start coming into that area of resistance on this. And then not only that, the bigger volume is closer to $82.22. I don't think that hits today. We'd have to clear another major pivot, plus start getting into some of that big old volume, which should have been a lot stronger. That's now going to be some kind of a strong resistance up in that zone. But for right here, it's not bad. I still wouldn't go 80. You could probably shoot for about an $80 price target on this, but I'd go slightly under, front run that $80 whole number. SRTS. Should have my coffee today. I don't know. I considered making it, but then I was like, I forgot. I kind of want it again. All over the place on the caffeine situation. All right, let's go SRTS. It's just gapping into a little bit of resistance right in the zone. Should it break that, we have a little bit more, maybe 1317, maybe 1363, but those are going to be all resistance. I wouldn't be as excited to go bullish on this one. I don't know if I would necessarily go bearish. If you could get some kind of a pullback 1251, I think that gives you your best shot of going long on this. Breaking the VPOC or closing? I always go with closing. I just saw your question, Zach. Yeah. So when we were talking about on Shopify breaking the VPOCs, if you don't wait for it to close, two things could happen. One, you get a very good aggressive price, and you're like, man, this is perfect. Or you're more liable to get trapped. Right. So if you get the candles that start to close below the VPOC, then for me personally, I would be like way more interested in like, okay, sentiment is there. There's no trap. I'm not just walking into something and I'm looking to take that one short. This is such an interesting spot on Shopify, but yeah, we're still technically right above it. I want to see, even if you think you've missed it, then just put the order at VPOC. So what I mean by that is, let's say this thing starts breaking down at open, immediately drops. We get some candles that close. We're looking good for a bearish direction. We'll wait for that retest into VPOC. So at that point, now that we have some candles that close below VPOC, then you can set your order right at that VPOC and just try to get filled as it comes up, and then use that now as the strong support resistance. And probably have some kind of stop, maybe at like $30.70, 60 cents, something like that. What do we got? We got 3 more minutes till the market opens. We got Thomas saying, what about the Coinbase? I don't know. Let's go on this journey together. Coinbase, kind of flat. Yeah. Nothing too crazy on Coinbase, at least for now. Relatively flat to yesterday's VPOC. Again, that should be an area that we're looking to hold. If this thing breaks, this is why, at least for a day trade basis, I probably wouldn't take Coinbase today. Even if this thing breaks down, the next target is going to be $63.56, right? So could you make a trade in there? Yeah, potentially. But then you also have your next VPOC to come back for some kind of retest at 67.80. You're going to have that 10 EMA coming down on you. So I think bearish is still the direction, but just I would prefer to wait until we get up to that $67.80 zone for an attempted short to bring it back down, because then we still have your good risk reward into this trade. You should know almost immediately, yeah, I'm definitely wrong on this trade if we start breaking out of those upper VPOCs, especially somewhere. If I get a stop above 68.38, I'd feel very good about myself. Still could get stopped, wicked, or any of that, but I really shouldn't be breaking those levels if this thing is going to remain bearish. Otherwise, right now, kind of just a little bit of flat, still above yesterday's VPOC. Market is almost open. Hope you guys have a great day, says Dale Orion. I know. They say all good things must come to an end. I don't know what kind of depressing nonsense that is. I really don't. I mean, who came up with that? Like, the good times do not have to end. There's always a way to just keep the good times rolling. So for all you guys in YouTube land, if you do want to keep the good times rolling, all you have to do is just go into reallifetrading.com, click on all access pass. You guys can trade with us all day. The good times just do not have to. And Hector says more beer. That usually helps too. That usually helps. Sometimes beer could be the solution and the problem. So sticky situation. You're definitely leaning on a fence on that one for sure. Depends on which way Humpty Dumpty falls. We will find out. But we have only 33 seconds left. DJ Dan playing. Even that though, you know, you go last dance, and then people are like, oh, party's open, and they go one more song, and you're like, oh, keep the good times going. Just keep it going. Why end it? We will see. Be careful out there in the market. Again, I don't think we have a spectacular movement out of the gate. First 30 minutes, I think are going to be slow, boring, watching paint dry. We'll see what happens, though. After that, after the 10 a.m., we might get more direction. Be safe out there in the markets. I'll catch you.